By the mid-1970s, the FBI had investigated hundreds of possible suspects connected to the D.B. Cooper hijacking. Some were quickly eliminated. Others remained under suspicion for years. But no matter how deeply investigators searched, the mystery refused to disappear. Every lead seemed to collapse into uncertainty, and slowly, the case became something even stranger, because the deeper authorities looked into the possible identities of D.B. Cooper, the more unsettling the suspects became. Some were military veterans, some were skilled parachutists, others possessed criminal histories, aviation knowledge, or unexplained disappearances from ordinary life. And nearly all of them carried secrets. The FBI began building psychological profiles trying to understand the man behind the hijacking. Whoever Cooper truly was, he appeared intelligent, patient, emotionally disciplined, not impulsive. He demonstrated confidence under pressure while carrying out one of the boldest crimes in American history. That calmness became one of the most important clues in the investigation, because very few people remain completely composed during a hijacking, especially while negotiating with federal authorities aboard a commercial aircraft. Yet Cooper never appeared unstable. That detail convinced many investigators that the hijacker likely possessed military or law enforcement training. The first major suspect to attract serious FBI attention was a man named Richard Floyd McCoy. At first glance, the similarities seemed disturbing. McCoy was a military veteran, a skilled parachutist, comfortable around aircraft. And only months after the D.B. Cooper hijacking, he committed an almost identical crime. In 1972, McCoy hijacked a Boeing 727 using a grenade and handgun. He demanded ransom money, then parachuted from the aircraft exactly as Cooper had done before him. The similarities shocked investigators immediately. Many believed the mystery had finally been solved. But serious problems soon emerged. Witnesses from the original hijacking insisted McCoy did not resemble Cooper physically. The age difference appeared noticeable. Facial features failed to match, and several investigators remained convinced the real hijacker had been older and calmer than McCoy. Still, the similarities remained impossible to ignore. Some FBI agents believed McCoy simply learned from Cooper's successful escape attempt and copied the method afterward. Others believed McCoy truly was Cooper and the physical inconsistencies meant little. The debate divided investigators for years. Eventually, McCoy escaped from prison before dying during a violent confrontation with federal agents. Even after his death, the argument continued. Was he the legendary hijacker, or merely an imitator inspired by the mystery? Nobody could prove either conclusion completely. Then came another suspect, Kenneth Christensen. Unlike McCoy, Christensen appeared physically closer to witness descriptions of Cooper. He had worked for Northwest Orient Airlines. He possessed military parachute experience from World War II, and after the hijacking, people around him reportedly noticed unusual changes in his financial situation. Some investigators considered him one of the strongest suspects ever identified, but once again, the evidence remained incomplete. No fingerprints matched. No definitive proof connected him directly to the crime. And despite years of investigation, the FBI never officially charged him. The deeper investigators looked, the more frustrating the case became. Every suspect seemed to contain pieces of the mystery, but never the entire picture. Another name eventually emerged, Robert Rackstraw, former military pilot, explosives experience, parachute training, mysterious personality. Some private investigators became obsessed with the theory that Rackstraw was Cooper. Certain coded messages connected to the case appeared to contain possible references to military terminology and hidden clues. Television documentaries later explored the theory repeatedly. Some investigators believed Rackstraw enjoyed manipulating people psychologically and may even have taunted authorities secretly for years. But again, no definitive evidence ever surfaced. The mystery remained incomplete. As the suspect list expanded, the FBI gradually realized something disturbing. The legend of D.B. Cooper itself had become dangerous. People wanted to believe they had found him. The case attracted conspiracy theories, false confessions, and unreliable witnesses endlessly. At times, the investigation almost resembled mythology more than criminal analysis. And yet, certain facts remained undeniable. The hijacker understood aircraft systems unusually well. He appeared comfortable under extreme pressure. He vanished into conditions most people considered unsurvivable. And somehow, despite years of investigation, no trace of him ever surfaced publicly afterward. That final detail haunted investigators the most, because successful criminals usually make mistakes eventually. They spend stolen money, speak carelessly, confess to someone, leave evidence behind. But D.B. Cooper seemed to vanish completely. Some FBI agents eventually concluded the most likely explanation was also the simplest. Cooper probably died during the jump. The wilderness consumed the evidence, and the mystery survived because the body was never recovered. But other investigators strongly rejected that theory. They pointed toward Cooper's calm behavior and technical knowledge, his planning, his discipline. To them, the hijacker looked less like a desperate criminal and more like a man executing a carefully calculated operation. And if that interpretation was correct, then somewhere in America, D.B. Cooper may have lived quietly for decades after the hijacking, perhaps watching the mystery grow larger every year. That possibility terrified federal authorities because it suggested the most famous unidentified criminal in modern American history might have escaped successfully forever. As years passed, the investigation became increasingly personal for certain FBI agents. Some devoted enormous portions of their careers to the case. They studied witness interviews repeatedly, analyzed parachute mechanics, reconstructed flight conditions, compared photographs endlessly, and still, certainty remained impossible. One investigator later admitted the case felt almost supernatural at times. Every time authorities believed they were close to an answer, the evidence slipped away again, like trying to identify a ghost hidden inside American history. Meanwhile, the public fascination never disappeared. Books continued appearing, documentaries explored new suspects constantly. The hijacker evolved into a cultural legend, and perhaps that was the strangest outcome of all. A man responsible for hijacking a passenger aircraft somehow became immortal through mystery itself. But then, years later, something unexpected appeared along a riverbank in Washington state, something buried beneath the sand, and the discovery would shock investigators all over again, because for the first time in nearly a decade, physical evidence connected directly to D.B. Cooper finally emerged from the wilderness. In the next episode, the money is found, and the mystery becomes even more impossible to explain. This is Echoes of Humanity TV, youtube.com/Echoes of Humanity TV.